Hello and welcome to this debate where we are going to talk about circular economy and SMEs and green transition in small and medium-sized enterprises. So, my name is Jonas and I'm the moderator for this debate. I'm looking forward to it. It's my first time as a moderator, so you have to lower your expectations, but I'll try to do my best here with these three participants here. So, I'm from Clean, and Clean, as you may or may not know, is the Danish cluster for environmental technology. And we, of course, have a big interest in these topics and these themes that we're going to talk about today. So, that being said, I will turn my paper here and I will shortly, briefly present these three participants in the panel today. And we have Søren, Stochholm from WorldPerfect, and you'll get to present yourself a little bit further in a second.
Thank you.
And we have Lykke, Ricard from University of Southern Denmark. Yeah, I believe it's called in English. And we have Lars Frello from the Danish SME, Clever Coffee. So, yes, I think I would like to start out with a question. And the same question to all three of you. And let's start with you, Søren. Let me ask you, what do you think is the most important thing to be aware of as an SME who is about to start this journey of green transition?
Okay, and I presume that this first answer should be very brief and like...
We will elaborate later on, yeah.
Right. I would say that the most important thing would be that, yes, you can. Because people will say, no, it's not possible, no, I cannot do that, no, it's too hard, no, it's too complicated. And I don't know, should I do A, or should I do B, or should I do C? Yes, you can, and we can help you choose.
That's the message.
Many possibilities.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, Lykke?
Yes, so I'm from the university. So I would like to say that see this as a learning process, right? It's not going to be perfect from the start, but you know, we shouldn't sit on our hands. So we might as well jump out into it because sustainability is going to be the future. So see it as a learning process, that there is a starting point and then just get into the game. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm fairly agreeable with the tone that you said. In my point of view, the most important part as an SME is that you do not compare yourselves to others who's been on this journey for a number of years, but that you can do something already from the offset. It can be very discouraging if you're looking at what other companies, sustainable companies, transparent companies, responsible companies have done for several years. And you'll just be discouraged, and you'll not be able to get off to a start, even if you're comparing yourself to others that have had several years head start. So just start in the corner with your primary product and work your way out of that.
Thank you. Thank you. That was a relatively short beginning round, and I would like to follow it up by another short round, and then we'll get more time to talk in depth about these things. But I would like to ask you, Søren, and then Lykke, and then Lars, what is circular economy and green transition? Why is circular economy and green transition important for each and one of you personally?
Personally? Wow.
And maybe talk a bit about where you come from, what your...
Okay, I would love to talk about where I come from,
yeah.
but personally, I would say it's what Lykke says actually. And it's the future. We cannot keep doing these stupid things. So many things are so stupid today. Look around. So we need to change, and I like feel it deep inside. Change. Something happened, and you can think, something happened, but you can also make things happen. And that's why I do what I do.
So it's a policy of necessity. We have to do this.
In my view, yeah.
Okay.
Well, to me, I think circular economy becomes very visible because we're talking about recycling, we're talking about reuse. And then all of a sudden we realize, how do we do it? What are the materials combined of? Some are mixed materials, what to do with it? And actually, a lot of the troubles about doing recycling and reuse can actually be feedback to the design process where we make some decisions. What materials do we use? What's the services, etc. So this is actually what's in it for me, to say, okay, we're going this way with reuse and recycling. We actually need to take this learning experience and looking at the problems and feed that back to the design process to become smarter. So for me, it's also about implementing circular economy principles in how we design new products.
Thank you.
Okay. So for me, I come from a coffee roastery, and why this is important to us is basically if we do not change the way that we purchase coffee, ship coffee, bag coffee, and brew coffee, we're not going to be able to enjoy the same kind of quality products in just 10 years because it'll all be extinct. We'll not be able to do this, and I am sure that this is a very narrow point of view because that's my core business, that's the coffee business, but I'm sure that it actually applies to a lot of businesses that we are not able to continue doing what we're doing, and then perhaps I'm talking to both the design of the products and the services, and that we need to do this in order to conserve what we're doing now as part of the future. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. And maybe we should talk a little bit about now what you are doing in your profession in regards to circular economy and green transition, because you have your own point of view, which are quite separate from each other. And then again, they might interact with each other quite well. So I'd like to ask you, Søren, you come from the consultancy side of things, and you talk with a lot of SMEs, and you hear about the barriers, the motivations. I would like to ask you, what is the sentences you hear the most about why is this hard? Why haven't we done it already?
Well, first of all, it's very different. Yesterday I was at a general practitioner, a doctor, and his office wanted to do this green transition. It's like a doctor's office, right? And the week before that, I was talking to someone who makes clothes. It's a totally different story. And the week before that, I was talking about how the Arts Council itself could be more circular. You know, so okay. But the sentence I hear the most is probably the thing. It's too hard. I know. It's always actually. We don't know whether A or B is the best with the biggest impact. So, they just wait, do nothing. Because, should we wash our cups or should we use the singular use plastic thing? Because we used water, electricity, and we, create waste. So, we don't know which one is the best. So we choose nothing.
Okay.
And then I would say, okay, maybe we don't have the full answer, but we do know something is better than other things. So let's take one step, and then exactly as you say, actually, and you say, Lars, that if we go, we want to go to the very top from the beginning. You like break your neck, so one step at a time, and showing that yes, you can do this, and then people find out that that people love doing this. Even in the employees love it. It's like, we work in this green company. It's great. And new employees coming in and say, we love this green company. So it's kind of have this buzz around it. So in my view, it's very positive. My experience, actually.
Okay, so it's about fear of not making it in the first step. It's fear out of not being the best you can be in the first step that you take.
Exactly.
That actually make companies refrain from doing anything.
Exactly, and I think a lot of it comes down to the word sustainable. Is this sustainable? I hate this word, which is quite weird because I have a sustainability agency. So, but I hate this word sustainable because people would think, is it sustainable or not? It's like black and white thing, and it's never black and white thing. We need to see sustainability as sustainable transition. It's about developing. It's about being a little better, maybe being a little worse, then finding out that, okay, now it's getting better. So the transition, the development, it's called Sustainable Development Goals for a reason. Yeah. Not verdensmål in Danish, which is the worst translation ever. It's not verdensmål, it's udviklingsmål, if anything, but yeah, okay.
The semantics, I guess.
It's semantics, but very important semantics.
That's it, yeah. But I would like to ask you, Lykke, because we spoke before the debate here, and you talked about the term circular economy. And it wasn't really your favorite concept or your favorite word. Try to explain why that is.
It's because, well, we've been talking about sustainability, we've been talking about carbon neutrality, then comes circular economy. Now, what is this? And there's a lot of talk, is it going to just be another buzzword? Now we call it this. Or is it going to be something which will have more depth to it, be more deep knowledge? And there's also this talk about that we can see that the circular economy concept is getting some attention from research. So there's actually starting to be building some, knowledge foundation around the circular economy concept, what it means. I mean, we also have great organizations like the Ellen MacArthur, which I think are doing a great job, by the way. So it's a little bit pro and con to this. Are we still going to talk about circular economy in 2 years? At the same time, I also feel that it's actually an opportunity to be concrete. What do we mean by sustainability? Because circular means that we will have a flow of resources. So we'll either have a flow of resources where it's being fed back to production and become new production, or maybe the same product. So packaging becomes packaging again, bottles becomes bottles again, and so forth. Or that it can be fed back to nature with this biodegradable material. So on the same page, it's actually also start becoming concrete. And that is actually something that we can work with. I'm also head of educating our design engineers in product development. And this is actually something that we recently are starting to teach them about principles. What kind of principles do you want to work with? Are you working on that, this, for instance, material, the packaging, the container, that it should have a commercial afterlife? Then that is something that we can use as an objective in our design process. So I think it actually also at the same time, it's a little bit, is it going this way, fluffy concept, or is it actually going to be something concrete that we can work with? Yeah. So right now, I think it's an interesting concept, and I'm working a lot of trying to make it concrete, so working with circular economy principles.
Yeah, I guess that's a nice cue to move on to being more concrete and talk to you, Lars, a little bit as well. And then I'll return to Søren afterwards. Because I know, because I'm turning 36, so I remember 1992, but I remember being educated in the 1992 debate about we have to do something. The climate is a problem, we have to really do something. And nothing really happened. Nothing really happened. What has changed now? We've talked about this before, many years ago. What is the difference between then and now? Because something is happening now that wasn't happening back then. So what is the burning platform?
Okay. First of all, I think that there's been a series of years where we have been educated over a long time as consumers. And I think that actually it starts for most businesses with the demand, that the demand is actually there. It's been built up over perhaps 25 years. And it makes it so much easier to go a more sustainable way. Not saying sustainable, just more sustainable, Søren. Because then you know that the demand is there. And then all of a sudden, as a business, it becomes your edge. It becomes your unique selling point. That sure, they have this quality, we have a certain level of quality as well, But we also have the sustainable part, or we also have the transparency part, or whatever it is. So it becomes a unique selling point because the demand is there. Why the demand has arose, I'm a bit unsure. I'm sure that you can tell us a little bit more about it. But I think that over the years, we've become more and more aware as consumers that we need to do something. And it's not just about the environment, it's also the social impact as well, I think, and the financial impact as well.
So a question about that before we move on, because you run a business, right?
Yep.
So you experience the demand side of things.
Yep.
And you're doing quite well, I can imagine.
Doing what we can.
Talk a little bit about what your product is and what you have done and why you have done it and what the customers think about it. Because I guess there's a strong commercial pull in this.
Sure, because when it comes down to it, there's only one person who can pay for this, because it almost always has an added cost to be first mover or to go a more sustainable way. And it always lands on the consumer or on the business part that buys our coffee. So we import, roast and sell coffee to offices, restaurants, consumers, everyone who actually wants to buy our coffee. First of all, we need to have a top 2% world market product. So we need to have some of the best coffees in the world. They need to be tasting great and they need to be easy to work with. But besides that, we also have this responsibility part of our business and the transparency part of our business. We are 7 employees at the moment. We have one person who's head of sustainability. I don't know any other coffee roastery that has that, or any other business with 7 people who has that. We release this transparency report once a year. This year it's 124 pages, and it tells about what we have done to become even more transparent, what we are doing at the moment, and what we would like to do. So we're quite open about what we haven't done yet, because we can see that there are companies that are moving at a faster pace in some concepts, where we are focusing on other concepts. We are very strong on the digital side. So what we're doing for our customers is that we are building an e-learning platform. So we are a coffee roastery that's producing an e-learning platform so that we can teach the people that buy our coffee, the companies that buy our coffee, the restaurants, we can teach them all about coffee, brewing, cleaning, remote. So first of all, we can scale our business, and we can teach them without we have to move anywhere, so that we can save on the emission from traveling. But first of all, we need to have the business part as the primary leg, because if we do not have a business, then we are not able to make any impact at all. We are building what we call My Coffee Impact, a digital display that links up to the customer's orders in our web shop, so that they can actually have a screen, an iPad or a TV or an info screen, wherever they want to, next to the coffee machine, at the office or in the restaurant, where they can see what kind of positive impact has their unique purchase actually created, socially, environmentally, and financially for the coffee farmers that we work with.
Transparency.
Exactly, yeah. and it's all about being as transparent as possible for us, because we really haven't solved the part about moving green coffee beans from one end of the world to another end of the world to roast it and then ship it back. It's just not very clever, to say the least. But we need to do it. If we want to create these tasting experiences, then that's the only way that we can do it at the moment.
And maybe now's the time to actually reveal to you that Søren here from WorldPerfect has been working with Clever Coffee at least one time, maybe more times that I don't know about. Søren, take us through the projects that you have done with Clever Coffee.
Okay.
What didn't he know that he know now?
Good luck.
I'll maybe narrow it down to the circular economy part of the project. It's kind of a complex project, very interesting. We talked about packaging, right? How can we find the best packaging solutions for this Clever Coffee thing? And you know, when we have this value of being transparent, which is great and the only way forward. Of course, be transparent. The doing dream thing you're doing is amazing. I love it. It's perfect. It's the way to do it. So we're looking at the packaging thing, right? And we need to find. This is nobody can see where it's from because I don't want to be pointing at someone saying, this is bad, but this is bad.
It's not ours.
It's not yours. And it shows how complex these things are because it looks like a paper bag. It's not because when you look inside it, it has this aluminum thing going inside, and actually also a very thin layer of plastic. And everybody can see it. If you look at it, everybody can see it. And actually also it has a valve here, different kind of plastic as well. So we have paper, aluminum, soft plastic, hard plastic, maybe PP, I don't know, and plastic here in the zipper thing. And we have a label and some glue, okay, for packaging the coffee. Maybe we can do better. So we started.
So maybe explain why that's a problem.
Okay, why is this a problem? It can never be recycled. Maybe it can, but it will not be as today. It's too complex. You have to shred it and then part it, and it's too hard. So we have to. It's designed wrongly, right? It's a bad design, a stupid design. So
It's not designed for recycling, because it's not designed so that you can separate the materials. Because if you want to recycle, you really want clean fractions. So you want to split these up in type of materials and then have clean fractions. So mixing like this, it can be okay if you can separate it easily afterwards. But this is really glued hard together.
And it's impossible. So we started checking out what do we have alternatives, and there are actually the one we use today is quite good. It's PE plastic, and you can recycle the PE plastic. It cannot be recycled as a new coffee bag, so it would be actually downcycling, which is not being circular. Yeah. And what a thing I love about the circular economy, and I think why it's sticking around, is that it's concrete. You have to stay. I'm sure everybody knows the butterfly thing. You have to stick as close to the circle as possible. And this is and the bag we have now is okay because it goes around. Not the same level though. It's a bit further out, so it's not perfect.
It's becoming another product, not a coffee bag, but another product.
Exactly.
But of the
with
material.
less value.
Yes.
Yeah. So we need to still be searching for a bag that can be recycled as a bag, or at least not losing value, which is hard. And we actually didn't find it. But what we did find out is that we can change the label to PE as well, actually recycled PE. So maybe the bag and the label can be recycled as new labels. So it's not that bad, but it's not totally circular. But the point is that we need to look at the circular economy as a model, as a strategy for developing new packaging solutions. This is interesting because this is made from PET, PET plast, rPET, recycled PET plast. And many people will say, no, it's not totally transparent, so the consumers would think it's not okay. It's a little bit, not transparent. But I would say that if you communicate this to people, that this is actually recycled plastic, and that's why it looks like this, people would say, okay, nice, and I can recycle it as a packaging thing. But it doesn't work for coffee.
No, and the thing is that what we have now is a standard product. Mm-hmm. That's where we started.
Exactly.
We are still a small company, but we've found the best possible solution as a standard product. And with your help, we have some ideas about where can we go next. So when we need to purchase a lot of coffee bags or containers in any way, then we kind of know the difference between the different materials. The problem with the jar that you just hold up is that we need to move a lot of air. Mm-hmm. And then that becomes another problem that we need to be aware of. And then also we have to store it. We have enough problems storing green coffee. So in all things considered, bags are the best alternative at the moment. Yeah. But the point is that we now have a strategy. We now know where to go next when when we're building or scaling our business, that we know what kind of material should we look into, and also when we have the possibility to look at it as a development project, then we can do it.
And also very important, actually, as you are talking about, this is, I think, maybe 7 different type of materials in this bag, right? With a little, the valve being maybe the 5th or 6th material. The bag you're using today, Lars, is mono material.
Yeah.
Even the valve is made of PE plastic, which makes it a lot easier to recycle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's also one of the principles. So for your strategy or circular economy strategy, you pick the mono material, just one type of material. So it can actually, it's very visible or transparent as well, again, where you put it. So have you designed it to actually disposal it for household, or do you have a fraction in the store, or what do you do?
At the moment, we do not, mainly because our store has been closed down due to COVID. But we have the plan that people can actually just recycle these as a standard product in their household, and we inform them of that on the packaging. So that's one part, and the bag is a small part of our business. We sell a lot more coffee to enterprises, to businesses, and for them we have a, can I say, fully circular?
Yeah.
We have
a great solution.
Yeah, we have a fully circular solution where we pack and ship coffee in plastic containers.
Buckets, like.
Yeah. So you get 5 kilos of coffee, and then when we visit our customers or when they have a pallet, we can return them, we can wash them, and then we can use them again.
Yeah. So I would also call you have it a take-back system.
Yeah, we do.
Exactly.
With the service implemented, and
Yeah.
I think that's quite valuable to also have the services.
Yeah, I think that last year we saved more than 6,000 bags just on that account. Yeah.
I have to interrupt here because we are close to the end, so we could talk much more about this.
Oh my God.
And we actually never got to the main point, which is when you have a product like this, then it will get burned, and then you will have carbon emissions. And that's the, so then we go full circle. That's the problem. So that's why we need to have packaging that is the same material so that it won't be burned. And that is important to add in the end. So I think the time is up now, right? Yes. I would like to say thank to each and one of you. You poured your hearts out about this topic, and my role ended up being smaller, and that is a good thing because you talked a lot and you were self-driven. So thank you very much for that. I hope you enjoyed this debate very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.